apologize for being late, but I really am super excited about this challenge because it is really going to set the tone and kick us off into January. There's so much going on in my head right now after just spending 4 immersion days with GoPro and the quality of speakers. I realized that we all need to elevate our game. And this is going to be a skill set that is paramount now moving forward into our business. The social media aspect, there are people making millions of dollars connecting in real true connections, and it starts with intrigue, and that's what we're going to learn in this program. And the challenges are going to take you even further. You can tell I'm all fired up. I'm so jacked up about this. I appreciate everything that Tish and Janet and Alfreda have gone through personally in order to get us here and to be able to teach us. So thank you so much.
Oh, well, TL, I love the passion. I love the excitement. It fires us all up when you speak that way. And I know the very first entire night of GoPro was all social media. And it was like hitting a wall, like, man, we have to learn this stuff. And we'd already planned to do this call ahead of knowing that. And the whole program started out with Janet sent a link to myself and to Debbie Jeffries and said, hey, I'm going to do this 14-day challenge. Who wants to join me? So I quickly looked at the link, signed up, and said, yeah, I signed up. She goes, oh, you did? Okay, well, then I will too. And I'm like, what? Like, I thought you were in. So anyway, so she signed up, and then Alfreda said, well, I want to do it too. And so we said, you know, let's do it and keep each other accountable. And I got to say, I wasn't 100%. I kind of was following the cue of Janet. How many she did is kind of how many I did. And that's funny because when you think about the buddy system even, you take a step and I'll take a step. That's kind of what we do anyways naturally. So we need to find someone who matches our steps so that we can stay at the level we want to stay at. So don't pick a partner that's going to slow you down. Maybe pick someone who might walk just 1 or 2 steps faster than you so you can stretch yourself a little bit. So I would love to first have Janet speak. Now, Janet, you started this whole mother load of the 14-day Facebook challenge, and I would love for you to just share a little bit about your experience with it and what came of it for you.
Oh, thanks, Tish. And it's funny because you're right. You have to have accountability partners. And when you do, man, oh man, they push your buttons and they make you do things you probably wouldn't do normally. And I have to say that doing a Facebook Live every day, which I didn't actually do just because of circumstances, but it's a challenge. It's scary. But when you're living at edge, you feel so alive and you feel so, with it. Like it's just fun to learn. And so we learned a lot. And the other thing that was really scary for me was the fact that I was doing it on my personal Facebook page. And that was always, I don't know if I should, if I shouldn't. But what I did learn was that when you make it public, your Facebook Live goes public, you're seeing so many more people than just the people on your page. And I just want to share a story about how that all worked. And one of the challenges was to find something you know nothing about, train on it, to make the pitch. And so it just so happened that day I was driving home. It was the most horrific road conditions ever. And I wasn't sure about winter tires. I wasn't sure if they were actually working or not. So I decided that I'm going to learn about winter tires. So that was my Facebook Live. And didn't think anything of it. That was probably on Tuesday or Wednesday. I'm not sure. Went to a big in-house concert with people I don't even know. People that I've met in Italy, people I've met through people. And I get there, and the first thing as I walk through the door, the host says, oh, Janet, you know those videos you're doing on your Facebook page? They're really cool. And I'm thinking, he's not my friend on Facebook. And that's the first thing he said to me. And I was like, oh my gosh. And then we're leaving, and this woman who I met one time in Tuscany cycling, because it was kind of a gold medal plate evening. All these people that were there had been connected with that. Said to me, oh, Janet, I just want you to know that I've got winter tires. And I looked at her, well, that's nice. She goes, no. You told me I needed them and why I needed them. And so I said to my husband, what do I have on my truck? And he says, oh, you have all season radials? She says, no. I need winter tires. And she says, so now I've got winter tires. And her husband was in the background making this really awful face at me, like, yeah, because you said you needed them. And then the next day I'm at the dog park and somebody asked me, well, how's that 5 a.m. club going, Janet? Are you getting up at 5 in the morning? I don't see this woman very often. And she was watching my Facebook Live. So the reach and the extent Facebook Lives can go blew me away. It was really amazing. So when you start your challenge, don't worry about doing it on your private page. Don't worry that you're going to offend people, because not everybody's going to like what you have to say. And know that you're reaching out to the world. And someone, like they said at GoPro, when your energy matches their energy, they're going to reach out to you. And so that's the cool thing. So I am so excited to share this experience with all of you on this call. It's going to be so much fun. And yeah.
It is. I love that you started it out with, we did. You'll have to pick a topic that you know nothing about, because we want you to learn throughout this challenge that you don't need to know everything. You just need to do it. And I love that. Now, we're going to be using the exact 12 or 14-day program that we used. We're going to, we've started a secret group, and I'm going to get Alfreda to share her experience right away, but I want to just kind of highlight in between so you understand where this is going. We have a private group. If you decide you want to take part in this 14-day Facebook challenge, we will add you to the group. And every single day, I will be Facebook living on there. There's Janet. We couldn't see you your whole time you talked. I didn't know if you were.
The sun was. I thought the sun was going to be too bad.
There you go. We will be Facebook living Ray Higdon's daily teachings. Okay, so you're going to get the exact training that we got. We will probably add some key points in there throughout the training. We're going to have some polls where you can go and look at other people's Facebooks and vote on who and what and all those kinds of things. And so we're hoping you decide to stretch yourself a little and take part and learn how we learned. And Alfreda, you decided you wanted to hop in. Can you tell a little bit about your experience?
Yeah, for sure. And thanks for asking me, Tish. I had a lot of surprises. Lots of surprises that I wasn't expecting. I'm not really that shy of a person, but like all of us, as soon as you see yourself on camera, or you think, oh, whatever you have to say maybe isn't of any importance to anybody. But I had some really great experiences, and I do want to say to both you and Janet, Tish, that working, as soon as I would do mine, I would be looking, and at first I was kind of mirroring Tish, so Tish was kind of following Janet, so then I would kind of see what Tish was doing, because Tish was sharing with me the whole program, so I would kind of watch what she did, and then I'd kind of try and duplicate her. After 3 or 4 Zooms, I was kind of, I was catching on to what they were trying to teach us. And then some really great things started happening. I've always been worried about going down a rabbit hole, and I noticed as looking through my lives this morning, and the first ones were quite long, and I did by the end shorten them up. I still have the gift of the gab, so it's something that I've trying to shorten up. But I had some really great takeaways, and I just kind of jotted a few things down about it. When I was watching them this morning, I noticed from the beginning to the end how much I had changed and how much I was feeling such more confidence. And I think a lot of it was because of the comments that we had put on there. I know you guys experienced it too. I had some people that totally blew me away that I never, ever, normally I knew we were friends on Facebook, but they had never commented or said anything before to me. And so some of the people that came out of the woodwork was just absolutely mind-blowing. So I want you to know that it's okay to be yourself on there. People are going to embrace you. And really, if they don't, guess what? We all have people that, you can't make everybody like you. It's just not going to happen. And if you live in that bubble, maybe you just really need to realize that that's not the one. But I just wanted to say a couple things here. I wrote down some notes. One of the positive things that happened to me during, and I realized after a couple of the lives, was what they were trying to teach us was to, just, it's all about making relationships with people. So we're not on there to, we're not going to go on there and start talking about our products and be salesy. What we're doing is trying to intrigue and engage with people and genuinely just making friends. So if you think of it that way, I made a really good friend from, I shouldn't say really good friend, I don't know her that well, but I'm going to start a group with storytelling. And we're just in the process of doing that in a private little group. And I had a girl that was a friend of a friend, and she was so intrigued, and she's from Illinois. And now we're chatting. So I've made a new friend, and we found other things in common. So, she may or may not eventually be interested in, what I do as far as a home business goes. But really, it's just about getting people to chat with you, make conversations, and if you make a friend, it's amazing. It was a positive experience, and I really, really am excited to have all of you join. I really hope that you will join. So I could go on, but anyway, take it away, Tish.
I love it. And I'm going to unmute TL here for a second, because I know TL has been rocking the lives as well. And what are your comments on the lives that you've done, TL?
Well, I know that it's important to see you. So making sure that you have the light. I am so grateful for this little tiny light. If you can go to chapters and get like 10 of them and make them as a present. I used this the entire weekend at GoPro because it was dark. So clipping on that little light was spectacular. We got some really great shots. The other part to it is that set your phone's notifications off. That's just a mechanical thing so that when you're running your lives, the feed doesn't stop. All the rest of it, I am so jacked up to know the insider trade secrets. I really enjoyed seeing Ray Higdon and his wife on stage. So much so, like as if they were just doing their lives that we had already seen and experienced. They were exactly the same on stage. So that's really important, being yourself, authentic, but also on target and getting the job done that you need to get done. So thank you, Tish.
Absolutely. And what I'm excited for is if you're looking for, because for me, I didn't know even Facebook Live, what am I going to talk about? Like, oh my God, right? And this 14-day challenge is going to erase that. I don't even worry now about what I'm going to talk about. There are so many flippant topics. He called, have you ever heard of Google? Google something, talk on it. That's it. And I love that because you'll never run out of topics. You're going to learn. Go to the grocery store. Look at all the magazines at the till when you're checking out. Headlines. Grab a headline. There's your new topic. That's all you have to do in order to get on and do a live. Now, there are going to be some guidelines because we did learn some things throughout our 14-day challenge because a lot of us are on each other's Facebook pages. For example, Janet did a live on this drink that she had been drinking and she'd stopped, and all of a sudden these hot flashes were coming back. So if you have hot flashes, what do you use? And maybe I can suggest what I use. And underneath the feed, and that wasn't exactly it, but that's the gist. But underneath, people are like, oh yeah, hashtag love my elite, blah, blah, blah. It's like, she's trying to do intrigue, okay? So what I'm gonna ask people to do, and I just did one on the greens, and I had people, I mean, if I say MOA in it, obviously I'm announcing the product, that's fine. But if you've watched it, and I've said, I love this 30 little packet of 36 superfoods, and if you want some more information on it, reach out. Don't put, oh my God, I love MOA, it's so great, I love this, whatever ingredients in it, because you're ruining it for my audience, okay? So what I'm going to ask you to do is pretend you've never heard of whatever product she might be speaking of or he might be speaking of and say, that sounds really interesting, send me some info. Because if we start saying that to each other, people who might be scared to ask for info might go, oh, she's sending info. Okay, yeah, send me some info too, right? So we want to help each other out in this process. Does that make sense to people? right? Yeah, I was like, I did a Giving Greens video and I never once said anything, just comparing, you know, I used to juice and then here's how much you'd actually have to eat, but now I put 2 little scoops of powder on a plate, never once said the name, and all of a sudden I had people going, oh, hashtag Giving Greens, love them. Well, all they have to do is click on that hashtag. It takes them to everything now that's been posted about the Giving Greens. They don't have to ask me any questions. So don't give that kind of stuff away. Okay, so we want to teach you to be more effective, so you're creating the intrigue. We're not spamming people with all of our products, but we're wanting to start that communication with people, that interest. So I'm glad that makes sense to you. And we'll talk about it more in the group as we go. And honestly, from now on, I've decided if anybody posts something like that on one of my lives, unfortunately, I'm just going to delete it, because I mean, we're working hard trying to create this intrigue for the public. So if you post something and I delete something off of mine because I don't want the comment there, don't be offended. I appreciate you comment. I appreciate you watching. But I also am doing this because I am trying to create a following and some intrigue with people. So be mindful of people's pages. We also want to talk about friending and unfriending. And what is interesting about this is when you get unfriended, sometimes it hurts because you think, well, why would they unfriend me? Which is, I think of this on such a grand scale because when I was a kid, we didn't have this. Imagine kids nowadays when this is all social media, their life is all social media. You know, they got Snapchat. If they weren't invited to a party and their friends are at a party, they immediately see it. They're not there. But I know when I've been unfriended by somebody that I thought was my friend and I no longer am, it actually really hurts. And so here's some tips that we can do. Instead of unfriending someone, because I look at that as burning a bridge, right? If I've been unfriended, I'm not refriending you because you unfriended me for whatever reason that is, so we're done. But you can unfollow people. So if you have someone who's maybe left the business, but you don't want to lose the friendship, you don't want to see their post, just unfollow them. You're not going to see anything that pops up in their feed. And it keeps kind of that bridge a little bit nicer and clean. However, I've also learned that even though maybe you have your contacts hidden where no one can see your friends, if they're still friends with you and any of your friends are liking your comments, liking your pictures, or posting, they can see exactly who your friends are still. So if you feel threatened by anybody that maybe they're trying to, you know, start a new team with another company, it's best to unfriend. So those are the 2 kind of scenarios that I would suggest. If you don't want to lose a friend, unfollow them if you don't want to see what, and if you have a friend that says, you know, I'm so sick of seeing your business stuff, say, I love to keep you as a friend because I love following you and maybe you can check out my page now and then. Just click unfollow and it won't come up in your post anymore, right? So there's tips that you can give. Any comments on that, Janet?
No, but I really liked your analogy to kids today, because honestly, that is their lifeline. And when somebody friends you, that's just like a slap in the face. So that really opened my eyes to that whole thing. So
it's like bullying on a whole new level that they're dealing with. And now we get a little taste of it, even though we're adults, it's still tough, right? We all have feelings. So we're going to talk, Janet sent me the most, and I am going to start kicking your butt with this, the most incredible video this morning of her bike ride. Now, throughout this process, we also learned a 4, 2, and 1 process from a lady named, I think it was Jessie Lee, sorry.
Jessie Lee, yeah.
Pick 5 things that you love outside of parenting and outside of your business. 5 things that you're passionate about. Now, Janet sent me a bike video that's about 4.5 minutes long. I was so engrossed watching that. I was like, why isn't she sharing this? Why isn't she like building a campaign of all these athletes on her page? I'm like, oh my God, Janet, you have a friggin' gold mine of people that you can help. And I mean, I wanted to go biking and I don't want to get a sore butt, but that video was incredible. The sights that you saw. And I mean, wow. So pick some things that you're passionate about. You might like cooking and you might like, you know, travel, whatever it is. And throughout the week, you're going to drop 4 different posts or Facebook Lives, depending what you want to do, on things that you just love, that you're passionate about, that you have fun doing, whatever it might be. 2 things, a drip campaign of possibly a product or service or whatever you're wanting to share about the company. And then one, she called it the boom. So once a week, literally talk about wanting to have people and invite them to use your product or join you. If you have Facebook posts up right now of any of the products on your page or any stuff like that, I'm going to ask you to take it all down and replace it with something different. Whether it's a family picture, you should really on your profile have a selfie of you or a nice headshot of you or something so that you are identified as you. And in your background, maybe, you know, a motivational thing that touches your heart for your top of the page. So make it look professional, but don't be spamming your business. And as people start following you down your lives, you're going to be a lot more branded as you. People are going to join you, not your products. They're going to love your products, but be you. So how are you going to be able to join this hashtag new RX 14-day challenge? Because that's a clean hashtag. And what I love about having a clean hashtag is when we use it and we can click on it and it's going to bring up everybody's videos. So if everybody uses that hashtag, it'll be easy for us to go and just check and see and watch and see what everybody's doing out there. I'm going to suggest, because I do see people saying add me, and I don't want to miss anybody, this is going to start Monday. And so for the next 36 hours or so, I would like you to, I'll take the names off of this chat, but anybody else that's watching this replay or the recording, I would like for you to, what's going to be the best? Facebook message me. You have to be on Facebook to take part in this. So Facebook message Tish Ketcher or Janet Pritchard or Alfreda Nasby. Any of us can add you to the group. So message us and say that you want to be added and we'll get you in right now. Oh, I love it. You know what? Be scared. Somebody said in that group, you know, oh, it's getting so much easier. And I'm like, I'm 15, 16, 18 days in and I'm waiting for the easy button to happen, but it hasn't hit yet. And you know what? It's probably the best. I do think if it was easy, everyone would do it, right? So people are going to have so much more respect for you because there'll be people that are watching you going, oh my God, I couldn't do that. But wow, like, kudos to her and way to go, great video. But if you're vulnerable and say, this isn't easy for me, but I want to share this, people are going to respect you for that. So any last words there, Janet?
Yeah, I just say that it's not easy. And if you want to practice a little bit, you can actually do your live and then you can just erase it. And then you can do it again and you can erase it. But I'm going to say, you know what, the first couple, maybe try that. But it takes all day. So then it just gets to the point where you just do it and it's okay. And to be human and to make mistakes and to be your authentic self, that's what people are looking for. And also just when you're going to make your lives, make sure that you click the public button so that they go public, because you can do it just for yourself or you can, there's different levels of liveness. So make sure you make it public so that it goes to everybody out there, that so you can connect and bring in new people, attract new people into your life.
I love that, different levels of liveness. And you know what? You can put it to your story page, because if you're not putting it to your story, you're missing a whole nother gamut of people that only kind of pick out the few stories at the top of the page. I have not figured out how to do that. Alfreda has, so she's going to have to teach me.
And me.
Now, there's a couple questions here. Francis, I do have a business page. It is not necessarily named that. It's just another Tish Ketcher page that I have. But they actually suggest using your personal page to do this. And so I'm going to suggest that too, because that's where we have most of our followings. I am slowly going to start to lead people over to my business page is my idea, that over time I can transfer a lot of those people that don't want to see any of the business. Can you explain the story page and what? Yes, you know what, Marlene, we will absolutely do that in the live page or on the page as we go. We don't want to give you too much where you're like, oh, I can't get it all, but we'll coach you through on that personal 14-day challenge page for sure, because I got so much more to teach and share. And I know Janet does and Alfreda does, because we all watched GoPro. We were glued to it. We were texting each other. Alfreda was live with me watching it on the thing. And we were just like blown away by so much of it. And we might even replay some of those key points through that Facebook page as well, the replays, because I know some of you were there, so you'll have the replays, which is great. I went over them all again yesterday morning, and I was like, oh, more nuggets, like, wow. And so I'm really excited about doing this with you guys and seeing us all grow again, because what is it? When you're green, you grow, and when you're red, you rot? No, what is it? 911.
When you're not learning, you're dead.
Yes, there you go. Anyway, last words before we let everybody head out for the day here. Alfreda, anything else you want to add?
No, I think we're covering it pretty good. I'm pretty excited about doing the whole thing and having more to join us, because it's after watching that GoPro, that first day, right? It was just like, oh my gosh, we are in doing the right thing, because that's all they talked about. And so we really knew that after doing that 14 challenge, we are on the right path. So if you guys want to grow your business, really, it's not even a thought or a choice. It's a must, I'm thinking. So don't be afraid of doing it. I'm old school. I've done, I play with the buttons. I figure stuff out. And if you can't figure it out, just reach out to somebody. Somebody's going to know. Tish knows the program well. Janet, TL, everybody. So we're all in this together.
Absolutely love it. And TL, our epic mama, sexy hotness rhino. Want to wrap us up?
I do. And it comes down to, you do the same old thing and expecting different results. Stop it. Just stop it. You have an opportunity here to step into an inner circle group. People pay hundreds of thousands of dollars in order to do that and have this kind of coaching. And if you're not going to get it done for free, then you're not going to grow your business. And you may as well just say, I'm going to be a product user, and stop lying to yourself. And now that's really harsh, but I'm coming across like Johnny Wimbrey right now. That we need to be sheep. And we have a shepherd right now. We have a group of shepherds, and they're willing to toe the line and help us move us through this process and get us on board right now. So if you're sitting there wondering if you should and if you shouldn't, then maybe you just need to take inventory and decide if you're just going to be a product user. But I'm looking for leaders. Tish is looking for leaders. Janet's looking for leaders. Alfreda's looking for leaders. And with that comes commas. So let's go counting commas.
Mic drop on that one.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So she did mention the RX name in it. I was thinking it was kind of just for us, but you're right, if we're putting on the live. So you know what? We'll surprise you with the hashtag when you join the group. How's that? And I think we'll probably have some prizes and a lot of fun in that group. So we will. Are you taking names down there, Alfreda? Were you doing that?
Yeah, I am, but I'm afraid that I'm going to miss somebody.
Okay,
so.
it saves it all. So I'm going to end this recording. Thank you guys for joining, and we are going to have so much fun with this challenge. It goes December 10th to 14th. Yes, the very first recording is already in there, ready to go first thing Monday morning. I'm going to work on making sure I'm up really early. Maybe not Francis time, because he's way out east. But I'm going to be up as early as I can, getting that up so you have the day to prepare and get your live done as soon as possible. And every day I'll get up and make sure that recording gets put on there. I was trying to do them all but I don't want you to go in there and watch them all at one time. We want to do it a day at a time, because there's so much information that he shares. Now, these videos, by the way, do not need to be just a minute long. They can be as long as you want or as short as you want, but there's going to be specific things that you're taught during your live that you need to accomplish, okay? So learn the trainings, figure out what you're going to do, and just go and do it. And we're going to have so much fun with this. So thank you guys very much for being on here this morning. Next week is going to be the Epic Mama Rhino with all the GoPro highlights and everything that's absorbed and the business plan going forward, because our new year's already started. and we're in go time, and this is an exciting time for us. This was a great go. So happy Saturday, everybody. Enjoy the day. Thanks, ladies.